Okay, so looking at number 1, it gives us a diagram. Understand the diagram. Understand all of its different parts, okay? You might think, oh, it wants me to solve for x, but when you look at the answers, does it have a numerical answer? No, okay? So read the directions. Which calculations could be used to find the value of x? Okay, so I'm going to read through each one. I'm going to start at A, okay, and I'm going to show you what it's saying. So add 2.1, and 3.4. What do I get when I do that? 5.5. I did the first step. Then subtract the sum. What's the sum?
9.7.
The sum is what we got from the addition. Okay, so subtract the sum from 9.7. If I do that, is it going to give me x? Do we think? If I take 9.7 minus 5.5, is it going to give me what x is? Should be? Yes. Lucky this time, A was our answer, so we don't have to go through all the other ones. If it wasn't, we would keep going until we got that correct answer. Okay? Number 2. Right, we just did this. Line M and line N are parallel. Which pairs of angles are alternate interior angles? Now, look at your answer options first. We're going to go through each one. So, angle 2 and angle 7, are those alternate interior angles?
Yes.
Yes, so do you even have to do B, C, or D?
No.
No. Okay? All right, number 3 is tricky. Okay? When you see fractions, okay, right here we see 2 fractions added together.
Yep.
Can we add those together how they are right now?
No.
Why?
Because the denominators are.
Denominator's not the same. That's step 1. We're going to get them the same. If it says to add them, we're going to do that right away. Okay, so I'm going to take 1/2 and 2/3. What common denominator shall I pick? 6, right? What do I need to multiply on the top to get 6?
You have to multiply by 3.
Right, I get 3/6, and then what about the bottom?
2.
And then I get 4, 6. Now can I add these together?
Yeah.
What do they get?
You get 7, 6.
7, 6. Okay, it's a good start, but looking at our answer options, are any of them in fraction form?
No.
No. How can I turn this into a decimal?
You gotta do that.
Divide them, right? 7 divided by 6 gives you like 1.167. Looking at our answer options, does that match? No, but is it close? If we round, I would get 1.2. Okay, so it matches some of our answers. Which 2 can I get rid of now? I can get rid of those first 2 options. Okay, so now I'm down to 2. Now we have to decide, am I going to multiply by 8 or multiply by 10? Now, these ingredients right here will get me 12. How do I figure out how many I need for 100? If this is for one of them, how do I get it for 100? Okay, another way I can think about that is take 100 divided by 12. If I take 100 divided by 12, what does that give me, people with calculators?
That gave me like 9.
Gives me 8.3. If I round that, what is that? 8. Does that match an answer?
Yes.
Yes. So, did I really know anything about that problem?
No.
No, but I used prior knowledge and used prior knowledge to get rid of some answers, okay? And then I matched what I could. Okay? Number 4, it says, what is the solution for 11 minus 3x is less than 4? There's 2 different ways you can do this. What's one?
You gotta make the x by itself.
You can solve and get x by itself. What's another way you can do it? You could substitute in the values. Okay? But I think solving is a little easier. So let's take 11 minus 3x is less than 4. What am I trying to get by itself? Trying to get x by itself. What do I need to do first? If I want to get that negative 3x by itself. Subtract 11 on both sides.
Yeah.
So I have negative 3x is less than negative 7. What would my last step be? Divide by negative 3. What happens to my sign?
It turns into positive.
Why does it flip?
Because it's a negative.
because I divided by a negative number. Okay, we got a solution, but does it match any of our options over here?
No.
No. Okay, how can I change it to make it look like those? And make it a mixed number. It's an improper fraction right now. I want to make it a mixed number. How many times does 3 go into 7? 2 with how many left over? 1. So which one doesn't match? C. Okay. Once you got this answer right here, you knew that it wasn't going to be A or B. You knew it had to be C or D. Okay. Be careful though, because on C and D, what's the only difference between the answers? The sign. So be careful which one you pick. All right. Okay. Again. Number 5 gives us a bar graph. The bar graph shows the rain totals for a 4-month period. It rained 5 inches in August. Do we have an August? No, add it. We don't have an August. I'm going to add to it so I know that they told us this. August, it rained 5 inches. It wants to know how the inclusion of the total inches of rain in August affect the current range shown on the graph. So key terms in here are range. What does range mean? Think back to 7th grade. Remember there was mean, median, mode, and range.
Yeah, 6 years ago, and I don't know.
What's range?
It's like everything added up divided by.
That's the mean.
It's the difference.
Yep.
Range is the difference.
The highest and lowest.
Right. Range is the difference between the highest and lowest. What does difference mean?
Like
Subtraction. Okay. So let's do it without August first. What's my highest without August?
4.
May, which is 4, minus my lowest. July, which is 1. 4 minus 1? 3. That's my original without August. Now let's do it with August. What's my highest? 5 minus my lowest? 1, which is 4. So what happened? It increased by 1. Okay. Number 6. What is the value of the expression? It gives you the expression. What do we have to do with that expression?
You gotta find value.
How?
You gotta take the exponents, do the exponents.
Right, we just have to evaluate it. What does 4 squared mean?
4 times.
4 times 4, which is 16. What's 3 to the 3rd power mean?
3 times 3 times
3 times 3 times 3, which is
27.
27. Last step. Add them together to get 43. Okay. Number 7. This is going to be the last chapter we actually talk about in 8th grade, but you can still figure out how to do it. Martha rolls a number cube or a dice with sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. What is the probability of not rolling a 3? What does probability mean? Like what your chances are. Okay, so we're going to think chance over the total. Okay, what are my total options? How many options are there? There are 6. Okay, there are 6 options on a dice. Now we want to know what the probability of not rolling a 3 is. How many times can I not roll a 3? 5, right? So does that match one of our answers?
Yeah.
Why can we not pick B?
Because that's a chance of 1.
That's the chance of rolling a 3. Okay, so reading keywords, making sure we are thinking of it correctly. Okay. Number 8, you could have done multiple different ways. I want to hear ways that you guys did it. How did you guys figure out the value from least to greatest? Creighton?
So I took like the percentages of it. So like 1/5 is like 20%.
You divided it?
Yeah.
Okay.
1/3 is 33%. 2/3 is 66%. 3/4 is 75%.
Yep. So you can think dividing or think of percentages. Did anybody else do it a different way?
Like closest to 0.
Right.
Closest to 1.
Yep. Think about closest to 0. What's closest to 1? Okay. Did anybody else do anything different? Okay. Some people drew a picture. They drew little bar graphs to explain and drew a picture. You can do that too. Okay. So there's multiple different ways you can do some of these problems. Let's look at number 9. What form is this in right now? Scientific notation. Okay? If I have a negative exponent like I do here, am I going to end up with a big number or a small number? Small. So which ones can I get rid of?
C, D.
C and D. Okay? Now let's apply it. I have 3.6. Which direction am I going to go with that negative 3?
What?
To the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. What happens to the empty spaces?
They fill with 0.
Fill with zeros. What does it match? A. Okay, good. All right, number 10. Which relationship describes angle A and angle B when angle A is 50 and angle B is 40? Okay, go to the answers. What does complementary mean?
Oh, that's 180. No, that's 90.
90. Does 50 and 40 give you 90?
Yes.
Yes. If you didn't know what complementary meant, keep going. What does obtuse mean?
Over 90.
Over 90. Are they over 90?
Nope.
No. Supplementary means
180.
180. Are they 180?
No.
No. What about vertical angles?
It gets you.
Vertical
Right
angles,
by each other.
they're the same. Are angle A and angle B the same?
Nope.
No. So complementary is our answer. Okay, 11 says Mark and his friends went to an amusement park. We are writing our own equation. Okay, they bought 4 tickets that each cost the same amount. Let's figure that out first. 4 tickets that cost the same amount. We don't know what that amount is, so they told us to use T. So, why do you say 4T? There's 4 tickets, and we don't know how much, so each ticket costs however many much. So if Vanessa got a $10 ticket, Toby got a $10 ticket, and Callie got a $10 ticket, how do we find the total of those without adding them all together?
This.
Multiply, right? Okay, so we figured that part out. Now they paid $12 to park the car. How do we change our equation?
You gotta add that.
Right, we got to add that to our total. Okay, and then it says the total for all the tickets and the parking fee was $112. So the total of this equaled $112. Does that match any of our options?
Yes.
D. Okay, another way you could have done that is look at the options first and then compare them to the word problem. Okay, or you can practice writing it yourself. Okay, what about number 12? There are 2 different ways you can solve this. What's one? When in doubt, substitute. When in doubt, substitute. Okay, it gives you the values. Kind of cheat and use them to your advantage. Okay, so you could plug in the values. Let's do that. So if I plugged in 3, just because that's my first option. 3 times 3 plus 3 over 18. What are order of operations? What comes first? Parentheses. What's 3 times 3?
9.
Plus 3? 12 over 18. What else can I do with that? Simplify. What can I divide both of those by?
3. 4. No. 6.
6
Yeah.
to get 2/3. So did it end up working out right away? 2/3 equal 2/3. So we got A. That's one way you can do it. What's another way? What's another way you could have done it?
Get X by itself.
Could get X by itself. So let's try it that way. If I have 2/3 equals our normal equation over 18. How can I solve for X? What's first?
Yeah, 30. Yeah, that.
Can I get to my X right now?
No.
No, a fraction's in the way. How can I get rid of fractions?
Add it.
Multiply by what?
1. 10.
The bottom number. I want to pick the biggest denominator. What is it?
30.
3 is bigger than 18.
Oh, wait, no. 19.
18. Okay. What happens on the right side with the 18s? They cancel each other out, so I'm left with 3x plus 3. Well, what happens on the left side? Think canceling out, but how many times does 3 go into 18?
4. About 6.
6. So we can cancel both of those out with the 6. Okay, 6 times 2? 12. Now, does it look like something I can solve?
Yeah.
Yes. So we want to get 3x by itself. What do I do first?
Minus 3.
Minus 3.
Yeah.
So I get 9 equals 3x. Last step.
Divide by 3.
divide by 3. Did we get the same answer? Yes. So does it matter which way you do it? No. Okay, you can either substitute or you can solve. Whatever you see fit and is easier for you. Okay? Let's look at 13. This was the very first thing I ever taught you in 8th grade. Okay? What is the correct classification of 3/4? Let's go through them. What is an integer?
That's all numbers. Just a number. It's a negative.
It's positive and negative whole numbers. Okay? So is 3/4 a positive or negative whole number? No. Integers out. What is a natural number?
It's just
It's like
whole
a
number.
1,
It's just
2.
a number.
It's your counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we count 3/4?
No.
No. Natural numbers out. What's a rational number?
Any. No. That's a,
Ration.
Like, the ratio, so I get 3/4 is a ratio. So
Right. Ration is ratio. If you didn't know that, let's keep going. What's a whole number?
all the numbers that are.
all the numbers.
Numbers
All
that
the
are
numbers
like
that are
whole,
one, two,
so
three,
like
four,
All
five,
numbers.
0 to
All positive numbers including 0. So is 3/4 a positive number? A whole number?
No.
No. So our only other option is a rational number. Rational number is automatically a fraction. Okay?
All numbers.
Looking at 14, what is the value of 0.4 plus 1/4? First of all, can I even add those together right now? No. What do I have to do?
make either one a 0.4 of a fraction or 1/4.
Right. Change them both to a decimal or change them both to a fraction. Okay? Looking at our answer options, we have both. So it just depends which one you want to do. Which one do you guys want to do?
One. A.
Do we want to turn them into fractions or decimals?
Oh, fraction.
Fractions, okay? 1/4 is already a fraction. How can I change 0.4 to a fraction? 4/10. It's in the tenths place, so it's 4/10. Good? Okay, can I add those together? No. What do I do?
You gotta make them the same.
Common denominator, 20. How do I change 1/4? What do I multiply by?
5.
5 to get 5. And then 2,
8.
8. Now can I add them?
Yay.
Yes, to get
13.
13/20. Did we get the correct answer?
Yeah.
Or did we match? Yes. If we didn't match, what would we have to do instead?
You will have to do the other.
We would have to change them to decimals instead. Okay, but in this case we got lucky with our first option. Okay? Looking at 15, what do those little jail bars mean?
Make it
Positive.
positive.
Right, it's the distance away from 0. So what is the absolute value of negative 18?
18.
18. Last step,
Subtract.
42 minus 18 is 24.
24.
Okay, so remember those little absolute value bars? Those mean the distance away from 0. Okay, 16 I'm not going to spend a lot of time on, but to help you, draw your own graph, draw your own picture. Okay, make those connections. Okay, I'm going to skip to number 17. What is the value of the missing side? Now, right now, you don't know how to solve this mathematically, but can we look at it visually? Let's
Yeah.
get rid of some answers. Can x be 2?
No.
No. Can it be 6?
No.
Could it be? Yes, we can't veto it out yet. What about 9?
No. Yes.
It could be. Okay, what about 18?
No.
No, that's way too big. Okay, so we know our options are 6 and 9. Okay, right now you could take an educated guess if you wanted to, but I'm going to teach you a different way. What was the formula on your reference sheet that you didn't know? That Pythagorean theorem, right? So we're going to use that theorem. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. Now, you know how to use this. We just have to know what to do with it, how to plug it in correctly. The most important part is what you plug in for C. C has to be your longest side. The longest side is always that diagonal line. Your longest side is always across from the right angle. Okay, so if I plug in 10 for C, what do I have to remember is happening to all these numbers?
They're getting doubled.
They're getting not doubled, they're getting squared. Okay, so we figured out 10 is my longest side. What can I plug in for A?
8.
8 squared. What can I plug in for B?
Nothing.
You can plug in
90.
I could, okay, I like that. But what's our other side right now? X, right? X squared. Okay? I'm going to get back to what you said. So, evaluate what we can so far. What's 10 squared? 10 times 10? 100. 8 squared? 64. And then we can't do anything with x squared. There's a couple different ways I could solve this. What's one? I could plug in the two options I have left to x. Okay, what else could I do? Could I continue solving for
Get
x?
X by itself.
Yeah, let's keep going. I want to get x by itself. What could I do? What do I do with that 64?
You subtract it.
Subtract 64 on both sides. So I have 36 equals x squared. What can I do from here?
Unsquare it.
Could, or
Square both sides.
could, but we could plug in what we have left. What times what gives me 36? If I plug in 6, does 6 times 6 give me 36? Yes. If I plug in 9, does 9 times 9 give me 36? No. Okay, so again, if they give you specific numeric values for your answers, use those to your advantage and plug them in. Okay, when in doubt, substitute. Okay, so that is how you can use the Pythagorean theorem. With that c squared, what always has to be plugged in for c? The longest side. Okay, all right, 18. We did this before Christmas break. What do you know? What does the directions tell you about those two shapes?
They're the same shape.
Answer the
just
question.
bigger.
Right, so they're similar. They're the same shape, just a different size. So in order to find that missing side, what can we use to set up? Starts with a P.
Smaller one.
Proportions.
Well, I
Okay?
know it, right?
So we have a fraction equal to a fraction. What's one fraction I can create right now? 4 over 8.
Over 8, yeah.
Okay, 4 over 8 matches. Since I started with 4, I need to start with a number on that same shape. What number goes with x? 5 over x. Now how can I solve this?
You butterfly.
Butterfly, cross multiply, whatever you want to call it. 4 times x?
4x.
4x, 8 times 5?
3.
40, last step. Divide by 4, we get x equals 10. Does it match an answer?
Ow, yes.
Yes.
That was Whiteboard.
Okay? If you can't remember that, think visually. Okay? All right. Line plot. We need to first understand how to read a line plot. How many solutions are there for 1? 1. How about 4?
4.
4. Okay? So, looking at the question, it says, which comparison of the measures of central tendency is correct? How many of you have no idea what that means? Okay? You shouldn't know what that means. Okay, let's look at A, B, C, and D. It says the mode is less than the mean. What do you see we have to find? We have to find the mean, median, and mode. First, what's mode mean?
That's like the...
Mode is the most common. What's the most common? 4. Okay. What about the mean? How do I find the mean?
It's the
Isn't it like all of them?
It's median is the middle one. The mean, another word for mean is average. Okay, so we have to find all of our numbers. How many people pick 1?
1.
How many people pick 2?
1.
How many people pick 3?
3.
So I need 3 3s. How about 4?
4.
I need 4 4s. And then what else do I need?
1, 8.
An 8. So I need to add those together.
Add them all and then you divide by the number.
Right, how many are there? How many total are there?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I
Okay, and then I got 36. I'm going to divide by the total, so I get 3.6. And then last thing I need to find is the median. Median means what?
That's the middle.
That's the middle. Okay, the reason I have these written like this is so I can find the middle. Uh-oh. I have 3 and 4.
You add them and then you divide them by 2.
I can do that, but just think, what's in the middle of 3 and 4? 3.5. Okay, now I have all those values that are in my answer options. Now we go through and pick which one's correct. So, the mode is less than the mean.
False.
False, so that's not an answer option for us anymore. What about the mode is less than the mean?
False.
False. The mean is greater than the median. True. Okay, just to double check, the mean is less than the median.
False.
False. Okay, so we got C as our correct answer. Okay. Number E
Ow.
says use the table below. Which equation is represented by the relationship of the values in the table? When in doubt, do what?
Make it F1.
Gotta flip.
When in doubt, substitute. I'm going to keep saying that. When in doubt, substitute. Okay? I have my input and my output, or my X and my Y. I have 1 and 5. I'm going to plug them in. What's 1 plus 3 give me 5? Does 1 plus 3 give me 5? No. What's 2 times 1? Plus 3, does that give me 5? Yes. Done. Okay? You're picking one when you plug in those values, which one makes the most sense, which one works. Okay? 21 is another probability problem. Again, what does probability mean? It's the chance over the total. This one looks a little different. Bethany spins the spinner 2 times. How many times did she spin it?
Twice.
Twice. So we have 2 different options. Okay? What is the probability of the arrow landing on red both times? So what are the total amount of options we have?
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We have 8 total options. Okay? How many of those options are red? Count one more time. 5. Okay, now we have to decide, am I going to multiply those or am I going to add those? I am going to multiply because I'm spinning those every single time. So I'm going to multiply. When you multiply fractions, multiply straight across. What's 5 times 5? 25. 8 times 8? 64. Does that match an answer?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so probability, remember, chance over total. Okay, couple more. 22, Carlos saw a circle graph of people's opinions on what the most important economic issues are and decided it must be a misrepresentation of the information. What does misrepresentation mean?
Like, not presenting the right thing.
Right, it's not correct. Okay, so which statement explains why Carlos is correct? Okay, so on A, we're going to go through each one. Only 50% of the people said taxes. Does that really matter to us? No. Go to the next one. The percentages do not add up to 100. How can we easily figure that out? Add them all up. Do we get 100 when we do that? No. Easy. That's your answer. Okay. Last one. Should look familiar to you. Let's understand the diagram first. Use prior knowledge. What kind of triangle is that? Isosceles, because why? Two sides are the same, which means how many angles are the same? 2. So we know these 2 angles are the same. Okay, good. We use prior knowledge. What else do we know about triangles? They add up to 180. There's 2 different ways. When in doubt, substitute.
I got it.
You can substitute or you can do it mathematically. How can we do it mathematically?
24 minus 180.
Yep, take 180 minus 24 to get 156. Right, because we know those 2 are the same. Now I'm going to divide by 2 to get 78. Or you could have plugged in all the values into here to see if you got 180. Okay, nice job. Questions over any of the ones I went over today?
No.
Okay.